We are live.
All right. Welcome to the number one Bengals podcast. I'm your host, Dadio Maktouk. As always, I'm joined by Dr. Hodgie, Dr. Smoji, and John Sheeran. And we have, guys, we have a very, very special guest. I'm talking about Anthony Cosenza, old friend of mine. We go way back.
The only.
Yeah. And he is basically, we are his, I don't know what you call it.
We're like the Three Musketeers, but four of us.
Well, yeah, I was going to say we're like the brother husbands of Anthony, right? Because we have to share John Sheeran, who is on Anthony's podcast and on our podcast. And John is in a very strange position because, obviously we ask, was his podcast better? Which one do you enjoy more? And then a lot of times I noticed that John doesn't look at me he doesn't look at me the same way anymore. We're old news, but
you never close your eyes anymore when I kiss
Anthony,
your lips. And
Anthony's been doing the podcast.
Go ahead, say.
No, it's okay. So Anthony, we love your show. You've been doing it for many years now. It's a great podcast.
Thank you.
And tell us a little bit, and he's also a writer for Cincy Jungle. Tell us a little bit about what you do.
Yeah, so we, John and I team up and do the Orange and Black Insider Bengals podcast. But first of all, good to be on with you guys. I've long admired your show. I've patiently waited for my invitation on this great program. Finally got it. I'm stoked to be here. But John and I have been tag teaming the Orange and Black Insider Bengals podcast, part of the Cincy Jungle Network. You guys, your podcast is up on cincyjungle.com as well. It's a great show. And so I do a little bit of that. I do a little bit of writing, been scaling back on that a little bit, but doing more of the podcasting and having some fun with it. So good to be here with you guys and talking some Bengals ball. And good to see my buddy John as well.
Yeah, I'm a fan of the show. It's great to have you on.
Yeah. And Anthony, is a great guy to talk about today's topic, which is the Ring of Honor, which it was announced on our show by Emily Parker, but recently, I guess, it was announced. Yeah. So people who don't watch our show found out about this yesterday, I think.
Yeah.
But it's very important. It's a very, it's something that people have been waiting for a long time. And of course, Mike Brown is very upset. It's going to put him out a few $100s, but his granddaughter and others have convinced him.
And does Mike Brown wear the Ring of Honor? Because I remember in South Village Island, the chief wore the Ring of Honor, and we had to kiss it before we went on journeys and that kind of thing. Is that how it's going to work? Is he going to wear it, or does Liz wear it? Who wears the ring?
No. I think here the Ring of Honor, they form around Mike Brown. All the people in the ring, they form around him, do a celebratory dance. It's a tribal dance to honor him. And we had that too. Yeah, that's a different Ring of Honor. I think that was the North Village. You were the South. Yeah, but guys, so let's get right to it. Okay, we have so much to talk about.
The hula hoop of honor, but same thing. Go ahead.
Yeah. But here's the thing, guys. Let's get right to it. So, the first Ring of Honor inductee is Mike Brown. I'm sorry, Paul Brown. Paul Brown, who, the guy basically invented football. I'll just summarize it. He basically invented
two
football.
teams named after him.
But the question is, does he deserve to be in the Ring of Honor, considering that he fathered Mike Brown, who has brought so much, despair to the city of Cincinnati and so much embarrassment? And the answer is apparently yes, because, basically Mike Brown gets to make the final decision here. So, but guys, seriously, tell me about your memories and your knowledge about Paul Brown, because he was before all of our time, basically.
Yeah, he wasn't before your time. You're the oldest one here.
Yeah, I like to pretend, that I'm one of the cool kids, John. Please, but yeah. So, what is
he's a millennial in that he's from the last millennia.
There you
That's
go.
how he's a millennial. Yeah, it's a different millennium. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. But so he basically, if you look at the contributions, I mean, he is honestly,
he is the Bengals.
You can't. Every time I read something, you read about Bill Belichick. Yeah, you read about Belichick and his respect for him and how much Paul Brown added to the game. And I think that was a pretty obvious choice, since he owned the team and everything. Yeah.
Right. So the controversy is, you're saying, the question, Dadio, seems to be, should he be in spite of what? In spite of the fact that Mike is his son, and
the stadium is named after him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
we have kind of a consensus here that he should be in the ring.
I think he should be. Okay, so we can move on. Anthony Munoz, right?
Consensus. He should.
Anthony Munoz, probably the greatest left tackle of all time, Hall of Famer. But there were 2 years where he was not first All-Team Pro. He had 2 years where he was not first All-Team Pro. He was second All-Team Pro, including the year before he retired.
See, Anthony, that's the thing. You do not want Dadio doing your annual evaluations. As you can see,
he's tough, man.
He will remember every mistake you made, and he will hold it until you forget about it, and then he'll bring it up. He sits us down in his office. For example, poor John. John had a cold this week. Dadio gave him a talking to, a chewing out about his cold. The man can't control viruses.
Because his energy, he had low energy. He had low energy this week. So I told him I'm going to reduce his pay by 25% in accordance with the amount of energy he's putting into the show.
You can't reduce $0 by 25% if you're wondering where my loyalty lies.
Zero times 25 is 0. Yeah.
I did not know that. See, that is why we needed an accountant, so that we can figure out ways to. Well, we can maybe get you to pay us or something this week. I'll have to figure it out. We'll have to work that part out, John. But yeah. So basically, guys, those two are obvious Ring of Honor. So let's move on. We're gonna have 2 more that are going to be chosen not by the commoners, not by the peasants.
No.
They're not going to be chosen by your average fans. Like, everybody has a say. Very modern, kind of democratic, whatever. No, the people who have the money to pay for Bengals stuff and can go to those suites and eat the very fine foods, the gourmet foods, those people are going to help us choose. They're the ones who have the right. They have the vote. They have the voice. And they're going to choose the next 2 inductees. And that is a perfect system. I love that. So let us talk about that. Who goes next? Anthony, let's start with you.
So, we talked about it a little bit before we took the air here, that it's going to be, the suite holders, the club level seat members, I believe, and some of those people that kind of have had some loyalty as a fan base and seat holders for many years, and they get the votes on these other 2, which, I know we'd all like to be involved on that in terms of the members of the fan base and whatnot, but I think it's a pretty cool idea in general that they're allowing the fans to kind of have a say to round out the rest of the class. So, there's probably some people that have some gripes as to saying, why not me? I don't know, but I just think overall it's a pretty cool idea. And it is kind of a way that the organization, which has always kind of held its fan base a little bit seemingly, and or its players, it's at an arm's length. It's kind of a way for them to say, hey, here, participate in this cool new thing that we're doing. So I would like it to be open to a little bit more people, but overall, I think it's a cool idea.
Yeah. So Anthony, who is your who are your 2?
Number 2, to pick 2.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah.
Each of us gets the big 2.
Well, hold on, Anthony. Do you have a net worth of more than $10 million? Because otherwise, I don't know if we should count your opinion.
Yeah, and I think you guys know of my show, so obviously that's.
I mean,
that's
honestly, if Dadio invites you on the show, usually there is a net worth of at least $5 million.
Yeah,
because
I'm just saying, because otherwise,
portfolio and everything, guys, for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
He's one of the few people
who
has a, what do you call it, a CPAC? What do you call those? Dadio has. He's not even running for anything.
Well, yeah. Okay. So that is fine. Then you can have an opinion, Anthony. Yes, please go ahead. So who would you put in?
Good. Well, I'm glad I've got the opinion. There are a lot of people that are worthy, and I think what some people are kind of worried about is, this may turn into a little bit of potentially a popularity contest, or some people that may vote are kind of thinking a little bit more of the past 10 years, the past 15 years, and that's great. There's been some great players in that time for the Cincinnati Bengals, but I think it would be, based on all this Hall of Fame talk that we've talked about as well, and the snubs from former Cincinnati Bengals players, I think we would be remiss if we didn't put in the two Kens, Ken Riley and Ken Anderson. I think should be definitely within the first, I think they should be the two guys that are put into the first class, and if not, should definitely be on the very, very short list to do so. I mean, Ken Riley played for this organization for a really long time, was a very productive player, and obviously is one of the all-time leaders in interceptions, career interception leaders in the NFL. So, I think he deserves to be up there. And unfortunately, in the NFL Honors show a little bit earlier this year, there was kind of this ridiculous oversight in terms of, he had just passed away. They did this kind of remembrance sequence on the show, and unfortunately he was overlooked on that. And just kind of it's kind of a microcosm of his entire career, really, just overlooked in a lot of different respects. So he's a guy I hope that is in there within at least the first, if not the first class, very shortly afterward. Ken Anderson, another guy just overlooked, very important player in NFL history, very important player in Bengals history. So, I mean, I think those two are kind of where your starting points are. I'm seeing a lot of your live comments that you guys are putting up there too. Willie Anderson should be on that short list. I think Chad Johnson should be on that short list as well. In terms of more recent players, I think that's kind of where you go. Obviously, there are a lot of other names you could mention there too, Boomer Esiason, James Brooks, and others that should be up there. But I think the two Kens is maybe where you want to start.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay, yeah. I mean, so Ken Anderson, obviously he was on our show.
Yeah.
Ken Riley, unfortunately, we could not get him on the show before he passed. I hope that doesn't hurt his chances. But when you look at, like you were saying, popularity contest, you got to remember, Anthony, this is a business. So the Bengals obviously are not going to, put out all this money. They pay the graphic designer probably at least $25, to make the imagery for the ring. I mean, they put a lot into it. They're not going to do this without, trying to get that money back. And so that is why I think Chad Ocho or Chad Johnson will be in the mix pretty early, even though, I think he was like 30 years old when he basically stopped being effective, or when he was traded or whatever, kind of a short peak. But because he has like 5 million followers and he has that presence, I could see the Bengals leaning towards popularity, especially with this whole, allowing the elites, which is a great idea, but allowing them to kind of make the call. A lot of them might not be old enough to remember Ken Riley, which is unfortunate. I agree with you. I think those are two great picks, personally. But we'll see.
Yeah, Chad, that's interesting. And Chad was in town apparently in Cincinnati over the past week, and I don't know if that was having to do with the uniform thing or this Ring of Honor announcement, maybe both. But I think he definitely is going to be in there at some point. It's just a matter of when. I mean, he is one of, if not the best wide receiver statistically and all kinds of other reasons in Bengals history. There are a lot of names you can just keep going down the line. Isaac Curtis. There are arguments for a lot of different players, especially even ones that left not on the greatest terms from the Cincinnati Bengals. They were productive and they just got disgruntled in terms of the lack of success. And it's kind of that, I think, breeds an interesting conversation in terms of, how do you, as an organization, how do you approach those types of players that maybe didn't leave on the best of terms, and will they get a spot in the Ring of Honor going forward?
Yeah, I guess we'll see. We'll see if they can buy their love. We will see with their budget. I don't know if that's possible. But so let's go to John. So I know obviously John, not going to be any running backs on there, because running backs, they don't
no Icky Woods,
really
John,
matter.
because Icky Woods was pretty awesome.
It's the two
Kens. And he's not going to.
There's no debate. No, there's no debate. Like, one of them is dead. So we just the fact that they didn't make him an automatic inductee. We talked about this on Wednesday. Me and Anthony did that. I feel like that probably should have happened anyways. Like, I understand why, if you only want to limit to two, it's Munoz and Paul Brown. But like, I think Ken Riley's death definitely sparked some of this. And if it wasn't the main reason, it was one of the pivotal reasons, because that timing aligns with when Elizabeth Blackburn really integrated herself within the organization with this new role, and she was one of the like forefronts of founding this thing in the first place. And like, I think that helped Spark do this because like before this year, we heard nothing really substantial about any of this happening. So if Ken Riley isn't in the first ballot, it's a complete failure amongst the voters. But also, I think the talk about the voting system, it actually will help out guys like Ken Riley, because the longer you are a season ticket holder, the more votes that you get. And for the people who have been season ticket holders for a long time, those people are usually on the older side. Those people may have even seen Ken Riley play with their own eyes, maybe in Riverfront Stadium. But regardless, they know who Ken Riley is, and they know that he was disrespected at this year's Hall of Fame induction when he was not listed in the in memoriam segment. Like, all those things adding up, like, he should join Ken Anderson or really whoever else you want along with Ken Riley. But Ken Riley absolutely 100% should be, and if he's not, it's a crime.
Yeah, beautifully said.
Yeah, John, you made a great point, which I think is that, if the Bengals, they want to sell the NFL on the idea of Ken Riley deserving to be in the Hall of Fame, why not ride the wave of, he passed away, and so it's a good time to remind people that, hey, there's some urgency here. You get him into the Hall of Fame by giving him this recognition, and then that builds your brand. That is an advantage for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Wow.
That
you
we
just took
have
something
two Hall of
human
Famers
and dehumanized
and
it,
not
Dadio.
just. Yeah.
You just took something.
Well, I'm just saying that is what Mike Brown,
sympathetical
is thinking.
Yeah, you took something beautiful and you monetized it. You made a lot of money, and that's what you do.
Speaking about monetizing, guys.
Oh no! Wait, I'm not going to get to go.
Have you guys? Yeah.
You're going to talk about shoes before you talk about my picks? Used shoes?
No. We are no longer selling shoes on the show. I'll just sell them off the show.
Out of your truck.
But guys, let me ask you something. How often have you bought sunglasses and you paid a lot of money for them and you have all these problems? Like, you can't see through them, or they break in your hands, or
Never.
they make you blur, like cross-eyed, or all these other things.
That doesn't happen.
When I go to the dollar store, I buy the absolute most expensive sunglasses. They're not even just 99 cents. They're $2.99, which is crazy because it says on the sign $1, but they have more than. And I buy these. And, I don't like to go outside. I'm usually in the office. But, I don't know.
And
maybe some people,
Dadio, by the way, I've seen those glasses that you buy from the Dollar Tree or Dollar Store for $2.99. Those are for blind dogs. And that's why you can't see out.
I see. Well, that might be the problem. But look, I don't know why people go outside. Some people have to relieve themselves, or maybe pick berries to kind of sustain their families, or whatever the reason that someone would go outside. They probably need sunglasses, right? I need them when I go to the office because I don't be recognized by the pepperoni.
Paparazzi.
And the paparazzi, right?
Yeah.
So it is time.
Speaking
Anthony
of pepperoni and
John,
paparazzi, my sunglasses are custom made in Italy by handcrafted.
The shades. Those are pretty sick.
Thank you. They're handcrafted by a man who, God bless him, I hope he keeps living. And if you guys ever want to buy them, they're very affordable. They're $750 and they're polarized. I love them. But Dadio, please continue.
Yeah. Well, it is time for you guys to make your outdoor experiences better with K-Anon. So K-Anon sunglasses are made exclusively with polarized lenses for optimum clarity. They're made with Japanese optics that make their lenses clearer, lighter, stronger, and Italian handcrafted frames that are impossible to scratch. I'm telling you guys, if they add in some German material, you would have an axis of great sunglasses.
No,
right?
Can't do that. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Did they? Hold on. Wait. Time out.
Yeah.
I got to clarify something. Did these K-Anon people, and it is K-Anon, did they single you out because of how do I say this? I'm trying to think of a polite way to put this, but because they know of your predilection for right-wing fascist, groups. Because K-Anon, not the greatest name for a sunglass hut in this moment that we're living in.
Look, please. use the exclusive code KANON.
Are you sure it's not canon?
I don't know. It's KAENON cast CAST 15 at KANONcast15.com.
That's not KANON. That's not that. Your lack of reading skills are going to get you in huge legal trouble. Being able to read is like a prerequisite for having your own podcast. Ask Anthony.
Right. So you get a 15% off on your pair if you use the KANON
it's
code.
Not KANON. It's KANON or Kanon. It's not KANON.
Clearly better. That is all I was trying to say, is that, Anthony, you can see clearly better when you step out of the house for whatever reason. Okay, guys, let us move on. So now we need to hear Hodgie's 2 candidates for this year.
You really deflated we were building up to my choices, and you really just kind of took it off with your whole KANON thing, but that's okay. So first of all, let me just celebrate the moment, right? Because having a Ring of Honor, for me, as a Bengals fan, was something that I feel like was a lot like the whole indoor facility controversy. We kept saying it. Especially the veterans kept saying, why no Ring of Honor? And it was like a family in the 1950s where they keep saying, when are we going to get a TV? When are we getting a TV? And then, everybody else gets their color TVs, and dad comes out of the closet rolling out the black and white TV. Well, it's fine. We'll take it. But I agree with John. I agree with Anthony. There's so many choices, and Ken Riley's got to be up there. He obviously, Ken Anderson. I love the recommendation of Sam White. Sam White changed the spirit of this team. He gave hope. That's another option after, of course, those two. I don't know how to say this so it doesn't sound arrogant, but I also feel that if a fan has been sticking with the team for so long and making commentaries and just loving the fan and providing so much culture and humor, I don't know, maybe there's fans or hosts of podcasts, that could be considered for the Ring of Honor. That's another option. I'm throwing it out there.
Yeah. Well, one thing that we did not talk about, guys, is that people are making such a big deal out of this Ring of Honor. We have had the Dadio and Hodgie Hall of Fame for years.
People don't talk about that. It's a secret. People don't know about it.
All of these players that they're talking about, they all made it in. They all made it in by they paid a very small fee, to get into the Dadio and Hodgie Hall of Fame.
And you talk about handmade. They get a certificate hand-drawn by Dadio in his cute kindergarten-style illiterate handwriting and with crayons.
And they go
crayons or colored pencils, or what are we talking here?
Crayons.
Oh, wow.
Crayons.
And by the way, Anthony, the 31 pack, not the 8 pack.
Oh, nice.
Well, Anthony, the thing is, if you go to the 99-cent store, the Dollar Tree, and you ask for the toxic crayons, not the non-toxic, you will be amazed how many they give you. They will give you like 200 crayons. They say just because legally these are not supposed to be sold, the toxic crayons are a great deal. And
but the only thing is, I will say,
let your cat or whatever get a hold of that.
Out of sheer contempt, Dadio made Carson Palmer's out of the crayons that you get at Denny's. The 4 crayons, Yeah, that was cruel.
Yeah,
but he made it. He made your Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he did. He did, but it was for all negative reasons.
Yeah, but only
it was very sarcastic.
Exactly,
it was very sarcastic.
Exactly. He is famous. He made the Hall of Infame. He's infamous on that show. Yeah. But here's the thing, guys. Yeah, but here's the thing. I mean, we have so many players. Some of them are current players. Some of them, like Marcus Hardison. People don't know Marcus Hardison, but anybody who's on our show. Yeah, Jeff Blake. Anybody who came on our show has an opportunity in the Hall of Fame, because that is how you know that they're famous, because they were on our show. It's very simple.
But seriously, Daddy, speaking of someone on our show, that, jokes aside, should be considered as Max Montoya.
Oh, absolutely.
He believes it.
Oh, man, so much you got to get Max in there.
Yeah, got to get Max. Mixed up with some Max. To the Max.
No, I agree. 100% Max. No, Max will definitely be there. Maybe not this year, but next year, I think. He's up there. He's the best guard in Bengals history. He's the best guard in Bengals history.
Yeah.
And he has the best mustache. I mean, him and Ken Anderson are in the running for best mustache in Bengals history. I think Max maybe has that over him. Yeah. Mustaches are important, Anthony. A mustache is a sign of dominance. it is a sign that you mean business, that you're an established businessman. You're not just a
famous
new upstart
men with mustaches.
youngin
Saddam Hussein.
to make it. Yeah.
And I will stop there because there's another famous man with a mustache.
Yeah.
I do not want to associate with Dadio. I won't even go that far. But clearly, there is a link between the Dadio style mustache and, certain views of how to run society.
I didn't think Giovanni Bernard was that evil.
Sometimes you can take
a
the
very
mustache
nice
too far.
mustache. It's not Dadio style mustache.
Sometimes, sometimes people take the mustache too far. They go too far with it.
With great mustache comes great responsibility.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Okay. So I think it cut out there for a second. But guys, nobody asked me about my inductees, which is very strange. Nobody seems to care about that. Yeah. But
Dadio,
I would say, I would agree. Yeah. I would definitely Ken Anderson. And it is because he is one of, in my opinion, if you actually look at the advanced stats, the analytics, he is easily one of the top 10 quarterbacks in history, in my opinion. If you look at his performance, and that is such a valuable position, top 10 quarterback. I mean, it's a joke that he's not in the Hall of Fame,
Well, it's a crime.
After that, it's a crime and a joke. Well, yeah, but it's not funny.
It was a joke 10 years ago.
It's more something. Yeah. But after that, it's hard because I know that Ken Riley and Isaac Curtis, those guys have to be up there. It's hard for me to decide not having seen them play that much. But I'm fine with both. I agree with John that you got to write. I think Ken Riley needs to get in this year. This is his year. He was
it makes
top
a statement.
in interceptions when retired. Yeah. So but all of these guys, they got to get in. Let's see if we left anybody out. We mentioned Max. We mentioned I think Corey Dillon, Willie Anderson, Chad Johnson. All these guys have to get in eventually.
We mentioned me, but kind of
Yeah, and some of those guys from those great defenses with the that 88 team, Tim Crumry maybe will make it. I think eventually, right? Guys like that. So there's a lot to discuss there. Okay, John. Anything else on your mind?
No, I see very clearly now. I think that very much helped me.
Yeah, that is good. So, John, please, you can get 15% off. Of course, as an employee.
Are you selling John?
No. John can use this code as well. Even though he's an employee, he can still use the code. It is completely fine. All right.
Because I was going to take it. John, 15% off John. Great price.
Yeah. Well, it's not better than free, right? I mean, I'm getting free labor. He's an intern. John is an intern. He's still learning.
John has been here for 10 years. Yeah. John has been here for 10 years? He's the backbone of this show. And you're saying he's an intern. Yeah. So what am I?
Well, intern is not Hodgie. In your time, it was very different. Now being an intern is a very prominent position. Yeah, and intern is a very desired position now.
No.
I mean, a lot of really qualified people. Yeah, it is not. Yeah, it's not like being an indentured, a slave or a servant or anything like that. It's a lot different than it used to be. But yeah, I think that's all we have. Just please remember to subscribe to Anthony and John's podcast.
Orange, Black, Insider.
Orange, Black, Insider. Yes.
Those are the 3 words you must remember. And then subscribe, give them 5 stars. But don't forget to get that we were the ones who said it. So then give us 5 stars and subscribe to us.
Yeah.
You could do 2 things.
I'll be honest with you.
Multitask.
Yeah, I would go to ours first.
Yeah, just to be safe.
Yeah, just to be safe in case your internet goes out or whatever. Yeah, we're the number 1 Bengals podcast. And also, Anthony already has way more subscribers and followers and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, he's
we're struggling.
Yeah, we need the help. But, and in the comments of the YouTube, if you could tell us what you think, who you think should be in the Ring of Honor, and maybe who should be in our what was it, Hall of Shame? Because that's another category. They don't have the Ring of Honor doesn't have the negative. We have the negative and the positive.
Yeah. But I have
like Jeremy Hill. Where does he belong?
I also
Hall of
have
Shame?
Yeah, Hall of Shame. But I have a very important announcement, which is this is going to be our last stream on StreamYard.
Wow.
And
End of an era.
we are actually going to have a producer. Yeah, we're going to have a producer.
Moving on up.
We're going to have a producer. We're going to be produced by Brinks. Not the truck company. That would be great, but no. We are going to be produced by Brinks. They're going to have a very flashy, we're going to have the titles on the side and, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's going to have our logo. It's going to have the ads there. You can just look at the ad the whole time. You can have it just kind of,
Let's hope it's flashy and not flushy. Like you want to flush it.
Yes, exactly. Yes. And so, we will be moving to that for our next show. And we're going to have Tyler the Dragon on the show the next time.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Great guest.
So that is going to be fun.
The energy,
great
the power
guest
of
is gonna be
dragons.
later.
So much to talk about. The history of dragons. Where do dragons come from? Why should you believe in dragons? Evolutionary speaking, what happened to dragons? Great topic.
Yeah. So we're going to do all that next week, very soon, a few days. But for Anthony and for John Sheeran, working at 75% capacity, it's okay. And for Dr. Hodgie Electric Smoji, I'm Dadio McDuke. That is all we have. We will see you. Number one Bengals podcast. Yes.
Podcast. Number one.
We will see you next time. So
Sweetie.
long. Sweetie. Pies.